They do all kinds of things in other temples. I never just do things just because they're done in other temples. They should be done philosophically, properly. We decided long time ago in Mayapur festival we were not going to sing the Maham anymore in Kirtan just to avoid this problem. But everybody started doing it. You can't believe, one Mangal Artik in Mayapur, I had to stand there for 15 minutes, I timed it. Well, they went through Namaam to every guru that happened to be there. And then they sang Samsara Dava for 5 minutes, real fast. And then they did Jai Vishnu Pad, Jai Acharya Pad, Jai Bhakti Pad, Jai Pada Pad, Jai this Pad, that Pad. And there was no Hare Krishna. And I got so annoyed, I stopped the whole thing the next morning. The first minute the guy got Nama out of his mouth, said, stop immediately. Now you chant Samsara Dava the way it's supposed to be done. Samsara Dava, Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, and Hare Krishna, the way Prabhupada taught us. Stop all this mental concoction of Jai Him, Jai Him, Jai Him, Nama Him, Nama Him, Nama Him, and forget about Hare Krishna. So this is the way deviation occurs. Deviation from the Sampradaya and devotional principles starts this way. By all of a sudden you have a social obligation to chant everybody's name in the kirtan. And pretty soon you become like these, what are they called? Radha Swami followers. Radha Swami, I found out, actually is a follower of Bhagavatam. He taught his disciples to chant Hare Krishna and to read Srimad Bhagavatam. And they turned around and turned him into an incarnation, and now they just chant his name all the time. And they've given up chanting of Hare Krishna. So actually he was alright, but his followers ruined his movement. So therefore, I feel like being very strict on this point. We should not concoct all these social pressures that my godbrothers have to start singing this and that, and then pretty soon it becomes a whole string of Namaoms and Jai this and Jai that. And I hate hearing this Jai, that Jai, Jai. Prabhupada, if you ever heard any one of his kirtans on a lecture tape, you never heard him sing Hari Bol once, and you never heard him sing Jai anybody once. All he ever sang was Hare Krishna and Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And when he was singing Mangala Charana, he sang Namaam for his spiritual master. Understand that point? In other words, whenever we start doing these other things out of social pressure, then it becomes deviation. It's very serious, because one deviation leads to another deviation. And who knows where the next step's going to take us. We've already reduced the chanting of Hare Krishna enough in some places because of all this. And imagine what's going to happen in the next step. Imagine what the next generation's going to do. So we shouldn't change anything, especially the kirtan style mode and all these other things. Don't throw this thing in. This is not the point. The point I gave, this is all strictly Vaishnava etiquette. And it should be understood and accepted without speculation. Don't start speculating. Do what I say. Isn't it? You want to start speculating, oh, I'm very humble, but therefore it's your apology. You got to fire everybody up to do exactly what I just said not to do, because I'm very humble. Well, first of all, I'm not very humble. And second of all, if I tell you to do something and then you change it out of that concoction, then you've done just what those followers of Radhaswami do. Oh, he's very humble, but actually he's an incarnation. So we shouldn't do what he said, we should worship him. In this way, everything goes to hell. By that mental speculation right there. Therefore, do not speculate. If you hear an instruction, follow it. That's all. Finished. Don't speculate. I sing it for Srila Prabhupada. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with why a disciple of Srila Prabhupada wouldn't sing it. And then again, I don't see anything wrong why a disciple of mine would want to sing it. But then again, the kirtan gets full of Nama-Oms and Jai this and Jai that, and you don't chant Hare Krishna. Better you don't do any Nama-Oms. And then it became a technique that when you go Jayam Vishnupad, for me, and then you've got to go Srila Vishnupad Ki Jai, Srila Vishnupad Ki Jai, 3 times. It's become a technique. Now it has to be 3 times. Otherwise it's not official. Another mental concoction. And then somebody else will raise the standard to 6 times. And then unless you do it 6 times, then you're an offender. In this way, mental concoction causes a disturbance in devotional principles. Therefore, if you must say Jayam Vishnupad to me, you say it once and that's it, finished. Do it as quickly as possible. Alright, you should say it nicely, but don't go on from there. I just finished explaining that. Where were you? So, you tell him. The reason why the God Brothers pay the disciples of Prabhupada pay their obeisances this way is because when spiritual master is on the planet, you pay obeisances this way. That means with your right side facing him and left side to the deity. And when he leaves the planet, you pay your obeisances the other way. Your left side to him and your right side to the deity. Now, because my Vyasa-san happens to be on this side, it actually should have been on the other side. Then everybody's paying obeisances head on, and there's no problem. But anyway, since it's over here, and it's better over here because the door's over there and everybody's coming in and out and it's going to drive me crazy while I'm lecturing. So, therefore, the God Brothers, they pay their obeisances this way. It's quite alright. But when the disciples do it, it's an offense. Therefore, they can pay this way. That's not so bad an offense. They should pick the lesser offense. That's not even an offense. It's just wrong. But to pay your obeisances towards your spiritual master is a great offense. To show the bottom of your feet to your spiritual master is a great offense. So you're busy making all kinds of religious principles around here that the God Brothers have to follow, but you don't even know them yourselves. The simplest understanding is you don't show the bottom of your feet to anybody, but to speak to your spiritual master. But you're making religious principles here that if the God Brothers don't follow, they're in Maya. See, this is just all Maya. Maya working in these different relationships. Reasonable or unreasonable? So make sure they do that, and make sure they don't start concocting out of some sentiment, and then ruin everything around here. Like what? But that's not showing example. For a God Brother, to worship a God Brother is not an example you want to show. You want to show the example of disciple worshiping his spiritual master. This idea of showing an example is another mental concoction. It's not true. You show the example by worshiping your spiritual master. Not that you show an example by worshiping somebody else's spiritual master. What kind of an example is that? Then everybody will just pick somebody else and start worshiping them to show an example. Your wife will worship her spiritual master, you'll worship your spiritual master. There won't be any disturbance. Do like what? That's different. Instructing is one thing. Doing yourself is another thing. It's one thing to say, do it like this. It's another thing to say, here, watch me. For such a simple thing on how to pay your obeisances, you don't have to do example day in and day out for weeks. More mental. See, this whole process of mental speculation is very bad. It goes on and on like a machine. Speculate. Then pretty soon God Brothers start speculating that, I'm now their surrogate guru. And when they find I kick them in the face when they think like that, then they start thinking, well, I'll find another surrogate guru somewhere. I got 11 chances. All just mental speculation. Characteristic of this age. Yes, last one. They're getting more mundane by the minute. What? Nitai Gauranga is another one you don't chant. Prabhupada hated that one. He stopped kirtans when they were just chanting Nitai Gauranga. He said, this is the Hare Krishna movement, not the Nitai Gauranga movement. Big Swamis and GBCs were stopped by Srila Prabhupada when they were chanting that in kirtan instead of Hare Krishna mantra. Prabhupada told me in Vrindavan, he said, I will now give you how to chant kirtan. You make sure they chant it like this. He said, I don't want to hear any speculations in kirtans. He said, quote unquote, in the Mangal Artik, you chant Samsara Dava, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya and Hare Krishna with the morning melody. In Guru Puj, you chant Shri Guru, he calls it the Guru prayer. He said, you chant the Guru prayer, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya and Hare Krishna mantra. For evening Artik, you chant Gora Artik, right there on that page when it comes down. Then you chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya and Hare Krishna. That is direct quote from Srila Prabhupada. And the reason why he told me that, because I was the president of Vrindavan at that time, and famous kirtan leader was singing all different other mantras, all the favorite mantras of the day, and Prabhupada stopped them. He said, I don't want to hear this anymore. And I've been trying to stop these nonsense other things for years. And I can say it's nonsense other things, because Prabhupada said it. He said what to chant, we should chant it.
What is this last line?
Dua pade loy lo sharan. I take shelter of his 2 lotus feet. Dua pade loy lo sharan. Dua pade. Dua means 2. Pade, feet. Dua pade loy lo sharan. Loyla, this is a verb to take. Loy lo is actually in the future. Will take. I don't know exactly, but some Duapadi Loyalo Sharan. It's old Bengali. It's a different language completely. Duapadi Loyalo Sharan. Everybody got that? Everyone has that? Duapadi Loyalo Sharan. Try it. Duapadi Loyalo Sharan. Try. Now we're all experts. That you should do. Chanting the name of the deity. That's chanting the name of Krishna. You can sing Jaya Gornitai, Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari. That's all right. But just like this Gaur Nityananda bowl. I remember once in Mangal Artik in Vrindavan, one of Prabhupada's godbrothers started leading Mangal Artik. And he started leading Gaur Nityananda bowl, Hari bowl, Gaur Shri Advaita bowl, and I got a call that I had to come in to see Srila Prabhupada. So I went in to see Srila Prabhupada. He said, who's leading that artik? I said, Anand Prabhu. He said, why? I said, well, he grabbed the microphone first. Prabhupada said, I have built this temple for you. You should chant the artiks, not my godbrothers. It is not for them to chant. I don't want him chanting that. I had to go in, stop the whole thing, and start again. You get a real good understanding of what Prabhupada wants when you're with Prabhupada. And you hear these different so-called things being chanted. And then you hear what he says about that. But because there were very few people who were lucky to be in that position, hardly anybody knows these rules and regulations of the chanting of the mantras. And because they're my equals in position, they don't accept it when I say it. But everybody here is not. So you have to accept it. Which is very good for you. Because that's what Prabhupada wanted. Oh, and the one that was the worst is Jaya Radhe. Shukadev Goswami wouldn't even say Radhe in the Srimad Bhagavatam, yet we're chanting Jaya Radhe. Just consider that point. When I once, out of sentiment, chanted Jai Radhe in Vrindavan, when Prabhupada was actually, that was when he was teaching me how to lead kirtan. Prabhupada personally taught me how to play mridanga and lead kirtan. So, at that point, then he had me lead the kirtan for Samsara Dava before his morning darshan every day. And the first day, I made the horrible mistake of chanting Jai Radhe after the kirtan once. And the look I got from Srila Prabhupada would burn Lord Shiva to ashes. I mean, it was like Lord Shiva burning Cupid to ashes. That kind of a look. You can't burn Lord Shiva to ashes. Ridiculous what I said. But when Cupid tried to agitate Lord Shiva, he burnt him to ashes by his look. And that look was, I understood that look by seeing the look of Srila Prabhupada at me when I said Jai Radhe. I couldn't even finish it. His voice choked up. He was very strict on this point. Yeah, because that's the deity. He's standing there, you see. So you chant his name. He's very happy to hear his name. No. You can't approach Radharani without Krishna. And when you chant the name of the deity, you're worshiping the deity right here. Huh? With the curtains closed. Doesn't matter. When the curtain's closed, it's another room. Don't worry about what goes on when the curtain's closed. Worry about what goes on when the curtain's open. Really getting out all my complaints. And if somebody chants wrong, it's the duty of the temple president or whoever's in charge, when the regional secretary is here, it's his duty to stop the kirtan. In front of the deities, no matter under what circumstances, you stop the kirtan. You go up to the kirtan leader, you say, stop. If you don't know how to lead kirtan properly, don't lead. You stop him. Tell him, don't do this anymore. Prabhupada told me to do it like that. He said, stop them from doing that. Stop them means you walk up and you put your hand on the mridanga or kartals and you say, stop playing. Do it properly or don't do it at all. Now that doesn't mean that everybody should hide in the back of the room and not lead kirtan. No, the kirtan leader should come forward and lead the kirtan, but properly. And it's very simple. At most, you've got 3 different things to sing each artik. You've either got Samsara Dava, Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Hare Krishna, or you've got Sri Guru Charana Padma, Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Hare Krishna, or you've got Guru Artik, Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada said you can sing Hari Haraya Nama Krishna. And you can sing, if you're going to sing a bhajan, he said you can sing Jasamati Nana. Jasamati Nana Brajabharana. Yeah, Jasamati Nana. You can sing that. And he said, and otherwise, if you're going to sing a bhajan, you have to know what it means. But that's not an artik or anything like that. That's for singing for the deity or something special. But you must know what it means. And I'm just quoting everything he said that time in Vrindavan. That's Bhaja Bhakata. It's supposed to be during the offering of the food. I don't know, Prabhupada didn't say. But I suppose you can sing all kinds of nice Hare Krishna and Sri Krishna Chaitanya. That's a kind of a special artik. There are also special ways to do that artik. There's a special artik. There's also a Radha Krishna artik. Just like we have Gora artik, there's a Radha Krishna artik. I think that's in our songbook now, isn't it? The new songbook? Anyway, sorry I can't say. Always, straight through. If you sing the Mangal Artik with anything but the morning melody, you should be stopped. Prabhupada told me 10 times that one. Must be the morning melody. All the way through. Don't change. And once I heard a kirtan around here where the kirtan leader kept modulating. Higher, 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 higher. That's also nonsense. You can modulate now and then. It's good for the ecstasy if you're expert. But if you're a complete amateur, and you keep modulating up higher and higher every mantra, it's just simply a trip. Trying to be known as a big kirtan leader, big expert musician, don't know beans. Sometimes I admit I modulate, but that's only because I can't find the right key to sing in that everybody else can sing in. That's due to incompetence. That's not due to trying. Sometimes I'll sing too high and everybody's... Then I'll try to go lower, but I don't go low enough, and then I got to do it again, and it's embarrassing, you know. But, you know, what can I do? Yeah. Oh, Adir Shantari. Govinda Jaya Jaya, very nice. Oh, that's what you sing at the lunch artik too. Very nice one. Prabhupada had me lead Govinda Jaya Jaya many times in front of very big crowds, especially amongst Indians. It's the best one to sing, because it's the one they know. But that's not sung during artiks that we have here in the temple. It's sung at other times. Let's say I want to lead a kirtan right now. I would have to sing Jaya Radha Madhava before the class. That's another rule. One day, I didn't do that, because at that time in other temples, they were chanting an abbreviated version of Mangalacharana before the class. So, yeah, an abbreviated version at that time. So I thought I'd, show off, and I had the Mangalacharana memorized, so, alright, here we go. So I did it. Well, Prabhupada used to attend a lot of my classes. That's how I had to learn how to speak. It's very frightening when you're giving a class in front of Prabhupada. So, he was listening. Alright. Then I started going, Om Namo Bhagavate. He stopped me. Finished. I said, oh no, what did I do wrong? He said, sing Jaya Radha Madhava. And I had to sing Jaya Radha Madhava. You can't not sing Jaya Radha Madhava before a class. Absolute rule. You have to sing Jaya. You can do anything else you want, but you have to sing Jaya Radha Madhava. That's a rule. Who was saying I interrupted him there? Somebody, there was another point. I have to sing Jaya Radha Madhava. Govinda Jaya Jaya. I could sing that now. That would be okay. Nothing wrong with it. But I have to sing Jaya Radha Madhava. There's some... Yeah. What? Which one? This evening melody? Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunda Bihari. That melody was Prabhupada's favorite for the evening. That's the evening melody. And the other one is the morning melody for Jaya Radha Madhava. And in fact, we sung that when Prabhupada was very, very sick in Vrindavan in July of 77, when he was passing away. We sung that for, I think, 45 minutes without stopping, or an hour even. Just one little pair of kartals. We were singing that to Prabhupada. He was in complete and total ecstasy, and afterwards he said, thank you very much. So we know that is very bona fide. The morning is, I do it every day. But I usually do every day, unless I can't get it together. Yeah, but Prabhupada wanted he liked the other melody very, very much. He wanted that done. There were a lot of things which Prabhupada wanted done, which he said he wanted done, but which he didn't do himself. I'm just telling you what he wanted done, personally said it, or personally very much approved it, or personally did it himself. There's no room for speculation in what I'm saying. Prabhupada never sang Hari Haraya Nama in a kirtan either. But he said that you can do. And that you must do in Mayapur. Well, you sing the Tulsi song and then the Hare Krishna. No difficult. Prabhupada generally doubled each one. It works out perfectly by time. If you double each verse, and you can sing Bande Gorosi Charanada Vindamani. Prabhupada, if you listen to Prabhupada's Happening, or is that Happening album? No, that's Bande. No, Bande Hum was the one in San Francisco. Yeah, Happening album. You'll hear Samsara Dava with it done double. But that's the midday melody. That's not the morning melody. And then if you sing Shri Krishna Chaitanya and Hare Krishna, you get a perfect Mangalartik time. It works exactly to the minute. If you just keep increasing it steadily from the beginning after Samsara Dava, steadily to the end of the artik, you've got a very nice artik every time. Letter perfect. Never changes. Between Shri Krishna Chaitanya and Hare Krishna? No, you should stop. But from that point on, if you want me to start telling you exactly what rhythm to hit and how many beats, and we write it down and score the Mangalartik, stand there with the music sheet.
When Prabhupada was giving class, the curtains closed, the devotees used to also get.
Well, where do you think I got that from? You think I concoct these principles? One thing you better learn about me is I never concoct these things. I'm a total, complete conservative, personally. Prabhupada, if devotees paid their obeisances during Prabhupada's lecture, he used to get so annoyed, it's incredible, because the lecture takes precedence over every other activity in the temple. You don't pay your obeisances when the curtain closes. And you don't ring the artik bell. This is the way Prabhupada instructed. Everybody who was with Prabhupada during lectures knows that. I get annoyed sometimes when devotees think I'm just concocting these principles. Why don't they say it to me if they think that way? Just like with this, when I say Shri Advaita, everybody thinks I'm concocting. That's because you don't know anything. Because Prabhupada in Vrindavan said it should be like Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we searched through the Chaitanya Charitamrita. There was no example of it. That mantra doesn't come from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It was written by Bhugarva Goswami about 120 years ago. So Prabhupada said, you can say Jai, you can say Shri, whatever you like. But you must not use Bhaja. Quote unquote. So I prefer Shri, because I like to do things the way they were always done. I hate changing. And if I say Shri, everybody thinks, oh, he made a mistake. Oh, he's doing it wrong, because this Swami does it the other way, and he must know better. Really wonderful attitude. Guest is another thing. Let the bhakti leaders deal with guests. Well, it's a little weird. It's not wrong, but it's a little weird. For the guests, you should sing Hare Krishna as much as possible. Or something they can understand, like Govinda Jaya Jaya, and immediately start repeating. Because the Sunday artik is with the guests, and if the guests are there and they have to go through, 20 minutes of somebody singing something strange, it's not very good for preaching. You should consider, when there's guests around, you should chant in such a way that it's very beneficial for preaching. And for the guests, the best preaching opportunity is to hear Sri Krishna Chaitanya a couple of times. And here's another one. If you chant Sri Krishna Chaitanya too much, then you should be stopped. In Vrindavan I feel like it's like Rupa Goswami with the nectar of Kirtan here. And then giving examples from Prabhupada. But in Vrindavan, when we were doing this, again, morning program when Srila Prabhupada was there. This was all in 1974. So, one devotee was chanting Kirtan. And he was chanting Sri Krishna Chaitanya over and over again. Prabhupada was getting more and more and more annoyed. And everybody was wondering when he was going to sing Hare Krishna. So finally Prabhupada said, "Stop him! Stop him!" All right, we stopped him. "Chant Hare Krishna!" Then we chanted Hare Krishna. It was relief. And I remember also, in 1971, I was Prabhupada's servant in New York, so Prabhupada said, one day he was just sitting on his asana, and he said, "Chanting of Sri Krishna Chaitanya mantra is hundreds of times more powerful than the Hare Krishna mantra." I said, "Really?" He said, "Prabhupada, then we can chant rounds of Sri Krishna Chaitanya mantra. It'll be even better." Prabhupada said, "No. That is concoction. Lord Chaitanya taught us to chant Hare Krishna. We follow Lord Chaitanya in all respects. We chant Hare Krishna mantra. Therefore," Prabhupada said, "you chant Sri Krishna Chaitanya mantra 3 times. Then you chant Hare Krishna." Oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway, in England they can do whatever they want. That's England. It's totally fake. When we do it, it's fake. In Jaipur, when they do it, it may or may not be serious or sincere. I don't know. I've never been to Jaipur. When they do it in England, too much for me. But in England, they can do whatever they want. But here, I would rather you didn't do that. Sing it the straight, simple, easy, typical, traditional ISKCON manner, with the traditional Bengali melody. We are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, We follow Gaudiya principles, not Jayapuriya principles. Not a very big point. It's not like a huge offense. These things tend towards sahaja, Get down on one knee and go boom, 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 boom. Tends towards the sahaja. If it doesn't jump in the lap of the sahaja, I'm not sure, but tends towards it. Yeah. That's a whole nother culture. Even the mayor of the city goes to Mangalartik. It's a different place. Totally different place. It's like having a huge temple there. Don't imitate Jaipur. Any other doubts, questions, clarifications, clearings ups? Oh, now the pujari's here. What? Better to say Hare Krishna. You never heard Prabhupada say Jai Radhe, did you? Only time I ever heard Prabhupada say Jai Radhe was when he was explaining why the inhabitants of Vrindavan say Jai Radhe. But I never heard him say it otherwise. Whenever they say Jai Radhe, he goes Hare Krishna. Because Hare means Radhe. Hare Krishna means Radha Krishna. So we say Hare Krishna because it's more proper. Mother Hara. We offer respect to energy first and the energetic source. And even sometimes somebody maybe won't accept this. And in the kirtan, he'll chant something else because he thinks he knows better than me. That's his right to think like that. No one can stop him. He may chant something else. For those of you who believe me, I'm telling you just what Prabhupada told me. I'm not concocting. So far, I don't think I made any concoction. Didn't concoct. So, he may chant something else. But if you ever notice, when I'm in a kirtan, where somebody, if I'm in some other place, and somebody's chanting some of these other things, I don't chant at all. I just keep my mouth shut and quietly stand there. And if somebody's chanting this jai and that jai. Like in Mayapur, after all these jais, I got so sick of it. Whenever they jaied somebody, I just went Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. You know, nobody could hear me. It was just for me. But I felt much better about it. You see? So if some other person decides he's going to chant something different, then don't chant. And see how far he goes on with his chanting. Now there are special days. There's a tape going around of me chanting Nityananda Ram. But that day I chanted Nityananda Ram for 8 hours without stopping because that was Lord Nityananda's appearance day. On Lord Nityananda's appearance day, you can chant the name of Nitai all day long. That's all right. He was very happy about it. The Pujari told me. On special days, you can chant the name of the person who's being worshipped, specially. On Ramchandra's appearance day, another Prabhupada said, you can chant Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram all day long, but not any other day, because it's the song that was used by Gandhi. It turned into a political slogan. Therefore, we never chant it except on Lord Ramachandra's appearance day. But on Lord Ramachandra's appearance day, we get it all out for the whole year. Personally, we would rather chant Nitai's name constantly, personally. That's our personal preference. But we only do it on Lord Nityananda's appearance day. But not during the kirtan when everybody else is there, not during the official archit time. If you want to go around and chant Varaha, Kurma, that's okay. But not that it becomes an official thing, and the new bhaktas start going, Varaha, Kurma. Are we almost finished? Have we exhausted the supply of doubts and concoctions yet? I think they're limitless. What they mean? No, you should know what the song means. You should know Nitai Pada Kammanam. The lotus feet of Nityananda Koti Chandra Shushita. They're like Koti moons, millions of moons emanating the effulgence, and Yechai Jagat Jagrai. They give you shelter from the burning Jagat, samsara, this material existence. Like that, you should know what each song means. You should know what that song means up there. Everyone in this room should know exactly what each line in that song means. It's the most important song for a disciple to know. Well, you're chanting the name of Tulsi Devi. If you're worshipping someone and you chant his name, who can object? Well, they're, I guess they're worshipping the writer of the, one writer of the Ramayana, who we don't accept. You'd say Devi, Tulsi Devi, Tulsi Maharani. On Radharani's appearance day, then you can go Radharani ki jai Maharani, but not any other time. On Radharani's appearance day, you get it out of your system for the whole year. You can Jaya Radhe for the whole day and get it out of your system for the whole year. Obviously. During that month, before Mangalartik, you chant Damodar Astakam with the morning melody. Namamishwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. And in the evening time, there are different evening melodies. Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Diyolaka Vadamam. Or else you can sing the one I sang on the record, which is a bit of a concoction. Not meant for our kirtan. It's meant for selling records and other things. Any other? But anything, all these speculations, let's just clear up all speculations. And that starts on the 27th. 27th, I got it all here on my watch here. And then it changes on the 26th. And then again it changes on the 24th. And then again it changes ends at the 29th of October. Oh no, 23rd it changes one more month. Then it ends on the 22nd of November. Should be followed. Sure. It says right there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are 108 or more different vratas that one may follow for Chaturmasya. And Srila Sanatana Goswami said, any one of those, or all of them, may be accepted. But if one doesn't follow at least one of them, something about some hellish consciousness ensues. So you have to follow at least one of them. So we follow that particular one. Very simple. But then again, there are a million exceptions to that one. Like in Mayapur, Sridhar Maharaj, we had so much spinach one month, the month of Shravana, you're not supposed to eat spinach. They got a field full of spinach. And he said, anything grown in the Dham is transcendental. Chaturmasa is not transcendental process. Yeah? Vishwadevi. Yeah, because we're a preaching movement. If we followed all these appearance days, then we'll become like the Gaudiya Math, where all they do is fast and feast. Forget about preaching. So we follow the minimum, and we go on with our Sankirtan movement all the other times. No, we don't even follow the ones in the calendar. Our particular version of the Vaishnava calendar means somebody who doesn't really know what he's doing translates the Navadvipa Panjika that came from Devananda Math, which is the one we follow, but he just puts down all the dates that are in capital letters. See, in the Panjika, the way you know what's a day and what's not a day is that on the bottom of that date, they give the day in the Bengali month, they give the day in the Sanskrit month, and they give the day in the material month, and then they go through all the auspicious, inauspicious times and the different name of the day, of which deity is in charge of the day, so many things. And then at the bottom they give, in capital Bengali letters, whose day it is. So all he does is whenever there's a capital Bengali letter, he puts it on the chart. That doesn't mean that we do those things. That's because they're finally getting it together and understanding that we don't follow those things. And next year it'll have even less. It's a long, hard struggle, It's like if you actually wanted to follow Ekadasi, what you would have to do is the following. From the midnight of the day before, no eating, no drinking of anything. No water, no sabudana, no peanuts, nothing. Just air. And even then, sparingly. And you do nothing, say nothing, but chanting from before the sunrise until the sunrise of the next day. You don't go to sleep. You don't eat, you don't sleep, you don't drink until the sunrise of the next day. Then you break the fast by drinking a glass of milk. And you don't take rest, and you just go on chanting that whole next day, Dwadashi also. And then in the evening of the Dwadashi, you have prasadam. That is the Paka Ekadashi of the Brajabasis. But that's because they're not going on Sankirtan, distributing books to the demons. See? So therefore all of our principles are adapted by Srila Prabhupada to facilitate our going on Sankirtan and preaching to demons. If you live in Vrindavan, you have really no other preaching austerity to do. Therefore you perform these austerities, and you observe every day religiously. But because we have everything else to do, we observe 5 major fasting days a year, or close to that. Janmashtami, appearance day of Srila Prabhupada, Ram Navami, Gaur Purnima. We're supposed to follow Nrsimha Chaturdasi and Vamana Dwadashi also. Vamana Dwadashi, but is followed on the Akadasi, because you can't fast 2 days in a row. So instead of fasting 2 days in a row, you move the Dwadashi fast to the Akadasi, and you fast all day, Nirjal. That's the system. No, I was 5, but I was 6, but I put Prabhupada's appearance day in because that's not mentioned as one of the 5 major fasting days, but it is for us. So therefore we follow it. Right. Right. Let me see. Radhastami was the day Prabhupada left Vrindavan in 74, so what did we do on that day? Maybe I can remember. Can't remember. Don't think it was a Kadasi feast. Gaur Purnima. It's a Kadasi feast. Janmashtami evening, a Kadasi feast. There's no Akadasi fasting if you had a feast. The Akadasi Puran is for those people who don't eat at all. So I've seen devotees speculate that to mean that they have to take a piece of grain before the Akadasi Puran is finished. So they run around looking for a piece of grain on the floor or whatever, and they take that. They think they're breaking a fast. It's a complete mental concoction. Fasting means you don't eat. Then you have to break the fast. But some people never eat grains. Does that mean they never break a fast? Are we finished with all the questions? Sometimes Prabhupada would never travel on Thursday afternoon. So one day he told me to go somewhere on a Thursday afternoon. I said, Prabhupada, I can't go on a Thursday afternoon. He said, no, that's not for you, that's for me. And one day, I had to go buy Prabhupada some tickets, so I wasn't thinking in my usual style. So I went to the Indian Airlines office in Calcutta, bought tickets for Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Prabhupada looked at me. Are you trying to kill me? Thursday afternoon. Ran right back down there and got some more tickets. So for him, you don't buy him tickets for Thursday afternoon. For me, you'd never buy me tickets, because whenever I go, it's in Australia. Something bad happens. I don't know. More than that, I cannot say. I don't know. Boy, it's 8:32 already, the whole Bhagavatam class. This is another thing you never do. You're never supposed to do this. It's a complete offense not to give a Bhagavatam class during Bhagavatam class. It's horrible. I'm still holding the thing ready to sing Jai Madhav.